Hey, welcome back to the podcast, the Evil Dungeon Master Universe podcast. I am your host, Evil Dungeon Master Vince. It is Monday. It is time for another podcast here in the AD&D universe of whatevers. First, ask the DM at theevildm.com is my email address. Thank you to those that email me and comment on podcasts and give me advice and ideas. I always appreciate those emails. Theevildm.com is my website. And you can support me by going to patreon.com/theevildm. Was working this weekend on some things for my solo game. All Flesh Must Be Eaten. Trying to get that up and running for my secondary channel, Solo Quest Party of One on YouTube. That's doing pretty well. It's up to almost 230 subscribers now, so it's slowly increasing. If you want to join that, go ahead and head over to youtube.com/Solo Quest for One. I believe the actual URL is youtube.com/@SoloQuestRPG. Anyway, today we're going to flip into the monster manual on page 37, and we're going to talk about elementals. We have 4 of them, and we're going to talk about, ways they fight, the way they shine, and how to use them without derailing your session is pretty much today's topic of the podcast. Now, I'm not going to go over each elemental in detail here, as you could probably just flip the book open and look at them and get the general idea of them, because they're generally the same as they're set up, but have their unique differences. Now, the air elemental movement is 36 and only flies. It has hit dice options of 8, 12, and 16. It gains +1 to hit and +2 to damage per die while in the air. It has a whirlwind form. It lifts, it batters, it wrecks lines. Anything you would expect a little mini tornado-like creature-looking thing to do. Earth Elemental, you probably see that more common, as you've seen that more in movies and things like that. Its movement is rather slow at 6, burrows through the earth and stone. It has 8, 12, and 16 hit dice option. Smashes structures, best against foes touching the ground, worst versus flying or levitating objects, or targets, obviously, because it's stuck on the ground. Cannot cross water except by tunneling under it, so remember that when you're fighting against it. The fire elemental moves a little bit faster at movement 12. The same hit dice options, but ignite flammable on touch. Less effective versus fire using foes. Checked by water, cannot pass over non-flammable liquids. So again, it's like fire, and fire pretty much has its limits when it comes to moving around. It literally looks like a giant fire just moving across the ground. Well, finally, we have the water elemental. On land, its movement is 6, but in the water, its movement is 18. Same hit dice options. Controls and batters large bodies of water. Can swamp craft by tonnage. Weaker away from water, loses bite on each damage done outside of its element. Now, just kind of ways that you can do this. The right terrain, the right threat. Give each elemental its own home playing field when you bring them in. Air needs vertical space. Earth needs contact with the ground. Fire needs something to burn, like fuel, some type of fuel. And water needs volume. Collateral is real. Let fire catch buildings on fire. Let earth crack walls. Let water sink boats. Use reaction rolls to decide how far they go once they're unleashed. If conjured, keep control range and concentration checks strict. Distractions break control, and loose elementals follow its nature first and not its orders. Water elementals attack by a ton. Put a number on a vessel, track rounds to swamp it, give the crew actions to cut free, bail, or ram to shore. Earth elementals move through earth and stone, not iron bars or finished dungeon walls reinforced with metal, so there is a way that you could stop them. Air needs ceiling height at least equal to its HD in inches. Tight tunnels deny full whirlwinds, so there's ways to get around these things. So I remember in a game, one of the players kind of wanted to cheese the rules. try to cheese a dragon, so to speak, by dropping an air elemental whirlwind in a 10-foot corridor, claiming it must form at full height. We all know that a whirlwind needs clearance equal to its HD in inches for it to actually form its full form to actually do what it's supposed to do. So there's no clearance, there's no full form. So I had to rule that there was not enough room for it to fully maintain its shape and to actually get in that hallway to fight and go in there against this little dragon that was in there. It wasn't a big dragon, it was a little dragon, but still. The group accepted the decision because it made sense at the time. And it still worked in their favor. The elementals still fought, but just at a smaller size. So the group jumped in and fought alongside of it, and they actually won the battle eventually because they had this help from this little, I want to say, baby wind elemental. I shouldn't say wind, air elemental. So, ways you can pretty much use this in a combat as a DM. Let's see here. So, you can have like this fire elemental that's loose on the city. And we could say that, and I think they did an episode of this. And the one example that reminds me of a fire elemental is actually they did an episode of this on Sliders. If you remember the TV show Sliders with Jerry O'Connell, there was a world that they went to that was just full of fire. Now, one of the fire elementals, which was legit a fire elemental, jumped onto one of the sliders into the new universe and jumped into and started walking around as this little tiny flame. And anytime it found something to burn, it would use it to fuel itself. Now, the elemental basically just wanted to go back to its own world because it didn't care for where it was and really wasn't burning things on purpose, but it's fire. So it legit just started burning things and trying to, maintain its hunger. So the fire elemental would go around. We'll just say there's random fires happening in the city. The players have to investigate who the arsonist is. After much investigation, they can't figure it out. They just know these little flames are seen, and then a big fire starts happening. Maybe through some methods of I don't know, maybe you can have some type of tool that they have to investigate the scene. And one of the players figures out that it's magic that's happening or it's not natural. So they start looking into ways to track this little fire elemental and how to get rid of it because it's a very small thing that's going from place to place and just feeding. Maybe it's just naturally acting on its instinct and it's not trying to kill people. A fire needs to, use things to sedate, satiate its hunger. So it's going to burn things. I mean, they're not naturally evil. They're neutral. They're just doing what they do. Fire will burn. Earth elementals, well, they're neutral too, but I mean, they have to do what they have to do. Water elementals will just do what water does. I mean, but yeah, there's ways to actually, take these creatures and make them a little more interesting. Like, for example, the fire one I was telling you about, you can use that episode of Sliders as a perfect example. And maybe their intelligence is low, but I wouldn't put it past to like do a comprehend languages or some type of speak languages or something with the fire. And just for a one off, be able to talk to them and find out what they're doing and why they're doing it. And maybe it'd be a cool like little backstory of this little fire creature. And maybe it's really not trying to kill things. It's just hungry and it needs a place to go. So you have to figure out what to do with it. There's a lot of possibilities you could do as a DM. It's your game, your world. You do whatever you need to do when it comes to these elementals. And I can think of a lot of ideas that have gone through here, but if to sit down and actually plan these things out, that's what happens. Tell me what you think about elementals in the comments and how you use them in your campaigns. I'd love to hear different ways. It's just interesting how other DMs do things. I'd like to read those comments. Don't forget, I read all comments and I try to reply. I try to reply to all comments. Unless I don't have anything to add to the conversation, then I really won't reply. I don't think replying to everybody all the time with just nonsense is a great idea. Anyway, patreon.com/the evil DM, or you can head over to youtube.com/the evil DM, or my solo quest channel, youtube.com/at solo quests. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you have a good day. I'm going to say keep it original, keep it old school. Good night, and God bless everybody.